Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Slayer back here again with another video. I'm a recovering alcoholic. I now have over 3 weeks of sobriety, and I make these videos not only to help myself stay sober, but also to help you guys out there stay sober as well. It's a beautiful night out, and it's also a beautiful night out to do a question and answer video, man. I told you guys that I was gonna do a Q&A, and I've kind of put it off. I should have already had this video done. Just, being busy, all the craziness of life. So yeah, man, I thought that I could come out here, talk to you guys for a few, and get into these questions. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. The first question is coming from, also I hope that all you guys are doing well out there. And yeah, let's get into this. So the first question is by chant.v. What's up, chant.v? And her question was, when you are in a social gathering where people do not know you, or a work gathering, for instance, what do you answer when offered a drink? And how do you feel seeing others drink and laugh because they are tipsy? That is a great question, chant.v. So, to be honest, I try to avoid those situations as much as I possibly can. Especially since I'm still in early sobriety, just being around people drinking in general is just a massive trigger for me. I know that one day I'm going to have, alcohol is everywhere. Of course, if a situation calls for me, I have to be there no matter what, and there's alcohol there, I'll be there. But if there's the option to not show up, I'm not going to show up, man. I'm not going to put myself in that situation. And you said, watching people laugh because they're tipsy and all that type of stuff. Again, that's a massive trigger for me. A lot of people would see somebody who's completely wasted and stumbling, just a goofy, completely wasted, out of their mind person. They'd be like, man, I want nothing to do with that. Why would I ever want to feel that way? I know that I'm an alcoholic because I look at someone like that and I'm like, damn, I wish I felt that way. It's not normal, man. I shouldn't be jealous or want that, but I do. And when I'm seeing people laugh and joke because they've been drinking, I want to be part of that. And it hurts my feelings a lot of the times that I can't be part of that, because I know I can't be part of that, guys. It just doesn't work out for me. I'm not a normal drinker. I never will be. I've tried to convince myself, and trust me, guys, my brain has tried to come up with any and every single excuse to get me to drink, and it's worked, A lot of people have commented and said, hey, man, you're really young, maybe you're not an alcoholic. You're so young. Trust me, guys, you know how many times I've relapsed because my mind has told me, hey, man, you're young, you're young. You could still have fun. Look at all these other young people drinking, The difference is that those other young people are drinking every other weekend like normal people. And I end up in the hospital every single time that I drink, with the doctors telling me that I'm probably going to die if I continue to drink. There's nothing normal about my drinking. I have to stay away from it, guys. And so if a situation, and don't be afraid either, guys, if you are in a situation and people are drinking, to one, stand up for yourself if somebody does offer you a drink, and say, no, I don't need that. Don't be afraid to say no. Stand up for yourself. And don't be afraid to say, hey, man, I don't drink, And if people want to judge you for that, they're not anybody that you really want to be around anyways. And number two, don't be afraid to get up and walk out the door. You don't have to be rude about it. You could say something to somebody, hey, I'm going to take off, show up, eat some food and take off. You don't have to put yourself in that situation. It's like I've kind of used the example in the past. Imagine if a meth user, for example, was surrounded by a bunch of people just casually around them smoking meth. Running around, jumping up and down. That would be a massive trigger for them. And because alcohol has been completely normalized and glorified in our society, nobody understands that except for us alcoholics. We do. So don't be afraid to get up and walk out that door. Your sobriety is worth it. Thank you for that comment, chant.v. Let's get into the next one. It's Complicated Watches. What's up, man? You're always in my comments. Ask me, Does your brother ever reach out to you? No. No, he doesn't. He doesn't ever reach out to me. Throughout this entire process, the only times that I've really talked to him has been when I've reached out to him, or somebody, a mutual person, has talked for me to him. But no, he doesn't reach out to me, man. He completely avoids me at all costs. The last time that I talked to him actually was when I was in the hospital this last time. I'm blocked. He's blocked me on absolutely everything. So I ended up calling him because my dad showed up at the hospital, and I ended up calling him on my dad's phone, and I was like, man, I'm in the hospital, like, and I asked him, I was like, how could you do this to me? And he said back to me in a very, very angry voice, you're doing this to yourself, or you did this to yourself, or something like that, which is true on the alcohol side of things, but I was talking about him running away with my ex-girlfriend. So I mean, I was half wasted in the hospital, and he didn't care. He wanted nothing to do with me. And I was like, man, like, I can't stop like drinking. It seems like I relapsed again. And he just hung up on me. So no, he doesn't care about talking to me. The last time that I actually had a real conversation with my brother was probably like over 2 years ago now. So yeah, man, it was actually my ex-girlfriend's birthday today. So I'm sure that him and my ex had a jolly, wonderful day celebrating that. Next question, man. I'm gonna pray for him, man. I'm gonna pray for him. The next question comes from Bat Country. Man, if you guys haven't went over and checked out Bat Country's channel and subscribed, please do so. He makes some awesome videos, super high quality, on, like, you know, sobriety and alcoholism, delirium tremens. I've talked to him a couple times in the comments. He's a super cool dude. So go subscribe to Bat Country if you haven't. And his question was, what do you do to keep yourself occupied and sober? Do you have any hobbies we don't know about, or strategies that might be useful? Yeah, man, I've talked about some of my hobbies on the channel, but I know one of the hobbies that I haven't talked about on the channel yet is making like little short films. Not with any fancy camera or anything, just on iPhones. Me and one of my best friends, I've known this guy for years. Little side story real quick. I actually met him in martial arts. I did martial arts for like 14 years. I was a 3rd degree black belt, state champion here for a while. That was supposed to be my career, and I'll have to make a video on that one day and kind of explain that entire story. But that's where I met him, and I've been friends with him for so long. And we actually we make like little short films. When I was younger, I wanted to be a film director and make films. I was a super big fan of Lord of the Rings, and there's like the Lord of the Rings appendices, I don't even know, whatever that word is. It's like the behind the scenes of the making of the Lord of the Rings. And I saw that at a super, like, I saw that when I was younger, and ever since I saw that, it's like, man, I want to be a filmmaker. So when I was younger, I entered multiple like filmmaking classes. I won most of them. I remember I entered one with 18 kids, and we were supposed to make like a music video, and we did a parody music video on Gangster's Paradise. And every single thing in the music video that we did was the opposite of gangster. It was hilarious, guys. I lost all these videos. I wish I could show them. And I will show, one day I'll show you guys some of the ones that we've made recently. But yeah, just making short films. You just sit down, you write up like a story, a plot, you get some friends together, and you make a film. It could be on anything, you know. We usually like make action films or comedies, or like scary movies. We made a few scary ones. I remember when Five Nights at Freddy's, the video game, came out. The very first one came out. We made a scary like film kind of based off that. We got the scary mask. And some of them came out really good, and some of them came out so bad. But the great thing about it, man, is that when they come out horrible, you can literally just laugh with your friends for hours. I mean, they're golden memories. Great, you know, activity, great hobby to get into, man. I would recommend that to anybody, but that's one of them. that I've never brought up is making short films, man. And again, we just make them on the iPhone. We got like a bunch of like editing apps and well, not editing apps, but like my buddy's got like a filmmaking app on his phone, and we make like our own props and stuff for the movies. It's super cool. So I'll have to show you guys some of those one day. Other hobbies, I like longboarding, playing video games, man. Writing. I like exploring. I like getting into super deep stuff on the internet and just like, and I don't even care, man. Like I'm a Christian, but I like looking into all the other religions and seeing what they're about, and just, you know, I like to do research on the deeper stuff of life, I guess. It's the best way I can put it, man. All that type of stuff. It fascinates me. But yeah, walking my dog, walking late at night. Sometimes I'll just walk late at night for hours. Put it on my headphones, listen to a podcast, and just walk for hours. It's a great way to take your mind off things and get those good endorphins going. And some strategies that might be useful. Like if you're in like a trigger, maybe that's what you're talking about, like strategies that are useful if you're having like a trigger moment. Some things that have been really useful for me is if I'm having a really bad trigger, is doing some kind of like super intensive workout, whether that's just like dropping down and doing as many push-ups as you possibly can, and then, you know, squats, and then, you know, doing sit-ups. I mean, whatever it is, or hitting a bag. Hitting a bag is great. Also, it lets out that frustration. It wears you out, and by the time that you're done, if you do that for 20 minutes, you're going to be wanting water more than the alcohol, because you're going to be worn out, man. And another great way, another technique that I found, if you're having a bad trigger, if you're stuck in your head, is going and taking a shower. Like a really cold shower or a really hot shower. Just go and get in the shower and sit in the shower and let that water just, you know, rinse down on you. It's a great way to it gets you kind of like out of your mind. It just gets you away for a second. And I've noticed that if I'm having a bad trigger, sometimes just jumping in the shower real quick can kind of get me out of that, man. But yeah, Backcountry, thank you for your question, man. Keep up the great videos. Yeah, man, much love. The next question is from Sagey Sage. What's up, Sage? And she asks, do you have any sober people in your personal life? Not, I mean, I do, but I don't at the same time. Like 100% sober, not really. I have my dad. My dad is 100% sober. I mean, he vapes and stuff, like, because he smoked for years. But other than that, 100% sober people in my personal life, no. I really don't have any people. I do have like family members that I don't really associate with that are sober. I guess my best friend that I was just telling you guys about, he's not sober. But he's not an alcoholic. He's not a drug addict, but he's not 100% sober. Pretty much every single person in my life, except for like the people that I talk to at like AA, aren't sober, you know, which can be kind of difficult, but at the same time, I've known a lot of these people for most of my life, and you kind of just I've just gotten used to it. And again, it comes down to not putting yourself in those situations. Even if it's a family member, sometimes you have to let go of family members and separate yourself from your family to keep yourself safe, you know, and that can be really hard and really hurtful to do. But for your own well-being, you have to. There's been some family members and really, really close friends, guys, that I've had to stop associating with, because I know that if I'm around them for too long, it's just a matter of time before I relapse again. But yeah, I have a couple, but for the most part, most of the people in my personal life aren't 100% sober. They're partaking in something. Even if that's just the good old marijuana. Thanks, Sage, for that question. And then Amanda Flaherty, 7528, what's up? You are always showing love. You asked me a multitude of questions, and we're gonna end the questions with yours. So I'm sorry, guys. I'm exhausted. It's the middle of the night. I need to start making these videos when I'm more awake and more with it. But yeah, you asked me like 5 questions, so let's go ahead and jump right into these questions. Did your family ever try to confront your drinking? How did you react, and how did that make you feel? Yeah, of course. 1,000 different times. My family, like, not in the beginning, not in the beginning. It was all fun and games in the beginning. Like I said, my family, they were big drinkers when I was growing up. So when I first started drinking, me bringing home like a 24 pack or a bottle, it was really nothing. Nobody really cared. But when things started to get completely out of control and I started going to the hospital and getting in trouble with the law, of course they confronted me several hundreds of times, and tried to get me to stop down the path that I was going, even if some of them were partaking in it themselves. Yeah, of course. And how did it make me feel? Well, in the beginning, I felt very attacked in the beginning, because that's how we take it personal. Even though they're trying to help us, we're like, oh, you don't know us, you're just trying to control us, you're trying to take away my drinks, and we're just making a bunch of excuses to keep drinking is all we're doing. But I've also, like, family members of alcoholics and drug addicts don't understand, though, at the same time, that trying to control the addict never helps anything. It makes it worse. I'm sure that you guys would agree. When your family or friends or wife or girlfriend or whatever tries to take control of your situation, it only makes your situation worse. Like, it makes you want to drink more. So yeah, I mean, I took it personal. Now when they confront me, it's like I try to understand that they just mean the best. And yeah, man, they just want the best for me. Even though it's really easy to, like, take it personal and react, I try not to nowadays. And the next question is, did all your friends drink? Did you have any that didn't, or any who confronted you? How did you respond and feel? In the early days, man, no, not really. I mean, I had like 1 or 2 I had a big friend group back in the day, years back. And pretty much every single one of them drank and did drugs. The only difference is that we all hit a certain age and they started to fall out of the party scene and the drinking all the time. And I just didn't. I stayed right there. Every single day was a party to me. I wanted it to be a party. And in the beginning, it was, man. It was a lot of fun in the beginning. I was a really fun person to be around when I was drinking in the beginning. And that's how it is in the beginning. And of course, that all changes before the alcohol turns on you and everything goes south. But yeah, man, all my friends, grew up and they stopped drinking. They went off to college. They started to get their lives together. And I continued to drink, and my drinking just got worse and worse and worse, to the point that most of these friends had to completely cut me out of their lives. And I can't blame them, man. I really can't blame them. The next question is, my first sober hobby, I think, is what it was. My first sober hobby, that's a good question. I would say that my very first sober hobby was, I don't know, really, to be honest with you guys. Because I kind of just brought back the old hobbies that I was doing before. I guess the first thing that I started doing again when I got sober was longboarding. So I guess that would be my first hobby. But I did that back in the day before I started drinking. And the next question is changes after sobriety, health, energy, mental, and emotional. And again, with the 4 months, I started to feel really, really good. My energy was going up. My emotional state was getting better. But it's like I've talked to you guys before, man. I've always suffered from depression and anxiety, and it's something that I'm probably going to have to battle the rest of my life. But of course, things get better. The longer that you're sober, the better things get. It's not just something that people tell you in the rooms of recovery. It's true. The further you're away from that bottle or that drug, the more benefits that you're going to reap, you know? And yeah, every single thing that you said on here got better. When I'm drinking, I can't even work out, you know? When I have some time away from the bottle, it's like I have a ton of energy. I can work out for a couple hours if I want to. It's crazy. When I'm drinking all the time, I don't have any energy at all. And mentally and emotionally, yeah. Again, I deal with anxiety. I have problems just like every single human on this earth does. But when I'm drinking, they're 10 times worse. I'm an absolute mental case when I'm drinking. And again, it's because I'm not drinking like a normal person, and I'm drinking massive amounts. I'm drinking a 750 milliliter bottle plus. You know, I might be drinking more than that. And of course, your mental state when you're doing that day after day is just not going to be intact, man. My emotions are everywhere. I'm better off to be alone, you know, when I'm drinking, just so I don't hurt anybody. Not hurt physically, I mean emotionally, just because I'm just so out of control, you know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I become a completely different person, guys. I really do. I become a completely different person. So yeah, guys, I think that's all the questions that I wrote down. I want to thank every single one of you guys who, you know, sent in a question. They're all beautiful, and yeah, man, I thank you guys. New videos are coming real soon. Like I said, these next couple videos, I think that you guys are really going to enjoy them. Like the ideas behind them. I'm not going to say anything more. I think that you guys are just really going to like the next couple videos. So yeah, remember, guys, sobriety is it's always going to be the better option. And also remember this, your drug or, you know, alcohol, which alcohol is a drug. It's like the hardest drug on earth. I hate that we say drugs and alcohol. Alcohol is like the hardest drug on earth. Why does it have this separate whatever? But yeah, man, remember this, the drugs and the alcohol, they're always going to be there. But sobriety, it might not always be there. And that's kind of, it's true, man. Just give sobriety a chance. You know, at the end of the day, there is some choice in this. And once you get out of the withdrawals and stuff, you know, you can actually take a hold of the wheel a little bit and you know, move it where you want to. But the true challenge, guys, is not getting sober, it's staying sober. It really is. I've gotten sober a million times, you know, like it's the staying sober is the real challenge, doing it for the long run, you know. I would just advise you guys, though, anybody who is struggling, do whatever it takes to get your life back. And if you really want it, you will. And that's that. We can't even start anywhere with sobriety unless you actually want to be sober. So you need to sit back and ask yourself that, do I really want to be sober? And do some deep mental thinking. And if you say no, then you might as well just forget about doing all these extra things and going to these AA meetings and all this other stuff. It's just going to be absolutely pointless, because you do have to want that, and you have to have that desire inside of your heart to want to stop and to want to better your life and to get healthy and to, you know, have opportunity again, and get your life back. So yeah, guys, sobriety is always the better option. Relapse always leads to regret. And yeah, guys, keep an eye out for the next video. It's going to be super cool. I'm excited for it. Kind of an original idea that I haven't really seen anybody else do yet. So I'm super excited about that, guys. I have some work to finish up, so I'm gonna get taken off and go do that. Thank you guys so much. I love every single one of you. Please drop a comment. And yeah, guys, thanks for the comments. I love you guys. Stay safe, stay sober. I'll see you guys real soon. Peace.